Hello and welcome to Riverview Junior School StoryVault video. Today I'll be interviewing Gillian Miller about what it was like going to school in South Africa and how it compares to Riverview Junior School.
Hello.
Hello. Mrs. Miller, can you please tell me what age you were when you started school and what age you were when you left South Africa to come to the UK?
So in South Africa you start school when you are 6 turning 7 rather than 4. So yeah, I started when I was 7 and then we moved to the UK when I was 17, just about to turn 18. So I had finished school by that point.
Please tell me the subjects that you studied when you were in primary school in South Africa.
So we had a lot of the subjects that you would have here. We have English, we have maths, we have arts, science, RE. I don't remember doing much DT as a topic. We might have made things, but it wasn't taught as a design technology subject. We had a lot of swimming lessons because the weather was good and the school had a pool. We also had to do, from when we start school at age 6, 7, Afrikaans as a second language, and then when you're a little bit older you can do Zulu as a third language, which are two South African languages.
What was your normal school routine? For example, when did the school days start? What was lunchtime like, and how did you get to school and from school?
So my parents would take me to and from school. Most people didn't use the buses because it's not a very good bus network, not very efficient. So you'd arrive at school quite early in the morning, sort of 7:30. Registration would be at 8. You'd have a sort of first batch of lessons and then break time, and then you'd have your lunch. Lunch was quite different to here because we didn't have school dinners, so we didn't have a school kitchen. Everyone just took their own packed lunch, and because the weather was good, you would just take your packed lunch out with your friends, find a spot to sit on the grass, find a spot to sit on the bench, eat, and then just run off and play.
At Riverview Junior School, we have a good to be green. How do teachers manage behaviour in South Africa?
I don't remember being rewarded so much for good behaviour, but I know that we were punished for bad behaviour, quite sort of old-fashioned, like writing lines, or I remember our whole class had to write an essay about manners maketh man, because I think we'd been talking in the line or something. And our head teacher also had a cane, and I remember that there were children who used to be caned, smacked on the bottom with the cane if they were badly behaved.
Okay. Why did your family decide to move to the UK?
Well, South Africa is a very, very lovely, very beautiful country. People are very friendly, it's really welcoming, but there is also a lot of poverty there, and so because there's a lot of poverty, there's a lot of crime. So it's just a case sometimes of having to be extra vigilant and extra cautious. I remember when I was in primary school, there was a time just before the national elections in 1994 when they were worried about schools being attacked. And I remember that we used to have to go and hide underneath our desks. There was a siren that used to go off, and we used to have to hide underneath our desks and be very, very quiet so that if there were people in school, they couldn't see or find us in the classrooms. And my dad got a job in the UK, which was one of the reasons why we all moved over.
If you had a choice to send your children to a school in either South Africa or a school in the UK, which would you choose and why?
I think that's a very difficult decision because I had brilliant time at school in South Africa, and I know that like the education there is, of a really good quality like here. I think the weather over there is lovely, so that's quite nice because I think you get to do a lot outdoors. But I know as a parent, what I really value in the UK is the fact that the education system here is free. Whereas in South Africa, you have to pay quite a lot to send your children to school.
Thank you, Mrs. Milan, for allowing me to interview you today. Thank you for watching Riverview Junior's StoryVault video.
Thank you, David.